The moment you've all been waiting for. The time has finally come to predict the Miami Hurricanes 2020 season wins and losses.
Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show.
What's going on, Canes fans? I'm super pumped for today's video, but before we dive into the season prediction, I have two quick announcements. The Coach Coop merch is now live and up for sale. You can head over to designbyhumans.com/shop/Coach Coop, or you can just click the link in the description or in my pinned comment to check it out. There's 4 different t-shirts available for sale. There's also available in tank tops and hoodies. And my personal favorite, believe it or not, is not the one with my face on it. I'm wearing the Garbage Can Coop tee at the moment. My personal favorite is actually the 5 and counting. Now, this one's super wrinkly. I don't own an iron, all right? But this one is my personal favorite. The paint drip 5 and counting tee. Again, you can get yours today over at that website. No obligation. It's a pressure-free environment, but I'm super pumped that it's finally available. Number 2, we have almost hit our goal of 13,000 subscribers here on this channel before the UAB game kicks off. So if all of you that are watching right now could just double check, make sure that you're subscribed if you want to be. And also, if you could maybe tell your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, and potentially your cat, if he has an account, I'd really appreciate it. As we already know, Miami will be playing 11 games in total this season, 10 conference games and 1 non-conference game. And also, it's going to be one giant ACC, so the competition is going to be tough. Kicking off the schedule is UAB September 10th, a Thursday night game. You guys know how much I despise weekday games. But who did UAB beat in 2019? Nobody. I understand that they went 9-5 overall and finished first in the Conference USA West, but they didn't beat anybody good. Their toughest game was against the Tennessee Vols, and they lost that one 30-7. And before everyone jumps in here and starts trying to explain to me that UAB beat LA Tech last season, and of course, Miami lost to Louisiana Tech last year, that's completely irrelevant. That was a Miami Hurricanes team that had given up all hope. I'm marking this game down as a win for Miami, but keep in mind that it could be a little sloppy, especially in the first half. You have to consider the fact that we've had much less practices this offseason, and we're also implementing a new offense, and we have a new quarterback. Could both of those be upgrades? Absolutely, but that doesn't change the fact that it may take a little while for everything to start clicking. Next up, we have Louisville on their turf. Last season, the Cardinals defense made Jaron Williams look like a potential Heisman candidate as he threw for over 250 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, Louisville does have better depth this season, especially at the running back position, and wide receiver Tutu Atwell, a name that we're very familiar with, unfortunately, will be returning. Louisville finished 8-5 in 2019, but I actually think that they have a worse record this year in 2020, and Miami comes away with the dub. A big key to winning this game for Miami will be continuing to get pressure all game on quarterback Michael Cunningham and making sure that we contain Atwell and Fitzpatrick, something that, at least with Atwell, we didn't do a very good job of in 2019. The following week, Miami faces off against in-state rival Florida State. Let's go ahead and mark that off as a dub. Moving on. All right, if you guys want me to at least say a few words for the FSU fans that do loyally follow the channel, it's no disrespect to FSU, but Mike Norvell is not going to have these guys ready. Rivalry games are always tough, and Miami won't blow out FSU. I'm not saying that, but they will extend the streak to 4 games. Miami gets a week off to rest up before heading up to South Carolina to take on the big bad Clemson Tigers. Most fans are excited for their team to get a bye week, right? It's an opportunity to relax, recuperate, heal, extra time to watch film on your opponent that's coming up. But Miami fans are going to be really nervous after losing every single game coming off of a bye week in the 2019 season. Clemson needs no introduction, and this will be an early test for Miami to gauge how good or not good we really are. Obviously, Clemson is not unbeatable. I don't want to sound like that guy that just automatically marks it off as a loss. I mean, they only beat North Carolina by 1 point last season, barely scraped by beating Ohio State, and then lost to LSU in the national championship. Now, all of these are good teams that they played, but again, I'm just saying it's not like they're invincible. However, I'm giving Miami a loss in this one. I think that we get our hearts broken in this game. I feel like this is going to be a scenario where we build up a small early lead and then we blow it, or we mount this amazing comeback that comes up just a little bit short in the end. Mark my words, this will be closer than the last 2 times that we faced Clemson, but I think we get out coached in this one, just being realistic. Next up is Pitt back at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami did beat Pitt in 2019, but it was a very close game, finishing 16-12. But Pitt almost beat Penn State, defeated UCF, and took care of business against North Carolina in overtime just last season. QB Kenny Pickett returns. Pitt's pass rushing should be outstanding, but the Panthers are just too inconsistent, and Miami is more athletic and more talented. It will be interesting to see which defensive line has a better day, because Pitt's D-line is something serious and nothing to play around with, but so is Miami. But at the end of the day, I do think that Miami comes out on top and gets the W against Pitt. The next game up is against Virginia, the team that competed in the ACC championship last year and got absolutely throttled by Clemson. This season, their leading rusher, who just so happened to also be their quarterback, Bryce Perkins, is gone. Virginia lost a lot of key players on their offense. Their run game this season will be mediocre in my opinion, and their defense tends to give up a lot of passing yards. This is a recipe for disaster against Miami this season, so I'm giving the Hurricanes a win here. So coming up on our second bye week, Miami is 5-1 with their only loss coming to the Clemson Tigers. Miami then travels to Carter Finley Stadium to take on the NC State Wolfpack. The only things that I don't like about this game are the fact that it's away and it's on a Friday night. That scares the heck out of me personally, but I don't have a whole lot of good things I can say here about the Wolfpack. Let's be honest. They finished 4-8 last year, and at this point in the season, Miami's offense should be clicking and the defense should be firing on all cylinders. The Hurricanes win big in this game. NC State can collect their check and move on. The next week, Miami travels to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech. One day I'm going to go to a Virginia Tech game in Blacksburg. I don't know why that's one of those that I want to cross off my list. I just want to experience it, but some of you guys are going to have to show up as well to have my back just in case. The Hokies finished 8-5 in 2019, which overall is a pretty good season, but they did end with back-to-back losses. The diehard Canes fan in me wants to say that we get revenge in this game after almost coming back in 2019 when Diaz and Enos finally decided to bench Williams and Perry came in and led the charge. But again, we came up a little bit short. But I also know that quarterback Hendon Hooker returns for Virginia Tech, and this might be one of the deepest O-lines that they've had in quite some time. I am actually going to give Miami a surprise L for this game against Virginia Tech. I thought long and hard about this one. I flip-flopped a few times, but at the end of the day, that's what I'm feeling in my gut. The next week, Miami heads back home to Hard Rock Stadium to take on Georgia Tech. The poor Yellow Jackets finished 3-9 last season, but you still found a way to beat Miami last year. I'll give you that. But there is no way this 2020 season that Georgia Tech marches down to Hard Rock Stadium and beats the Miami Hurricanes on our turf. It just ain't happening. Miami plays with some fire after dropping the game to Virginia Tech and wins big against the Yellow Jackets in this game. Next up is Wake Forest, and this is another one of those interesting and hard to judge teams. They went 8-5 last season, beating North Carolina, but ended with losses to Syracuse and Michigan State. Their offense led the ACC in third down conversions and was second in passing offense. The quarterback Jamie Newman entered the transfer portal, and if I'm not mistaken, is now a Georgia Bulldog, and he was a huge part of that offense. Wake Forest relies heavily on the offense to crank up consistent production. Against this Miami defense, that's just not going to be possible. The defense has its way with the Demon Deacons, and Miami walks away with a W. With one game remaining on the schedule against North Carolina, the Miami Hurricanes are 8-2. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot riding on this game. It's going to come down to coaching and potentially injuries. Who's healthier? Which team has more depth? North Carolina ended at 7-6 in 2019, but they are returning with some serious weapons, especially on offense. In the fourth quarter, the Tar Heels outscored opponents 120-51 last season. Miami fans all remember what happened in the North Carolina game last season. I am not going to repeat it in this video. I do think that the coaching staff has learned from some of those mistakes, but I also do know that this game is probably going to be an absolute dogfight, probably a high-scoring shootout. This is an extremely bold and early prediction, but I think that Jose Borregales comes through clutch and wins us this game. But I'm being serious with you. I'm going to be 100% honest. This game could truly go either way. So that's right. I have the Miami Hurricanes going 9-2 this 2020 season. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this is an early season prediction, so I can and most likely will change my mind in the preview videos as we go week from week and we learn more about the teams and potentially, unfortunately, injuries occur. And I'm just going to be upfront with you. I hate to be that guy that's riding the fence, but I'm hovering around 9-2 or 8-3, and it could really truly go either way. I could argue both sides of it. But I do have to say that my top four for the ACC championship game are Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, and Notre Dame, and that's in no particular order. The North Carolina versus Notre Dame and North Carolina versus Miami games are going to be big ones to keep an eye on, and I think that they're going to have huge impacts this season. I think the two most realistic scenarios for the ACC championship game are going to be a rematch, potentially Miami versus Clemson, or Clemson versus North Carolina if North Carolina does in fact end up beating Miami. So I know you're wondering, the big final question here, is Coach Coop predicting a national championship for the Miami Hurricanes this 2020 season? Unfortunately, no, I'm not. I think we'll have a good run, and this will be an improvement over the 2019 season. Thank goodness. But I don't think that this is the year that we win a national championship. We have a lot of young guys that thankfully are going to be able to come in and make an impact in the 2020 season. But I do think that they need to get some playtime under their belt. And I think that a national championship is actually more realistic in the 2021 season, believe it or not. I understand, trust me, I'm fully aware and hyped about De'Aaron King, and he's going to have a huge impact. He's a big playmaker for us, but I actually still have 2021 circled, the year that we open up with Alabama. That's the year that I made the prediction 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm sticking to it. Again, this could be a great season. 8-3, 9-2 is a huge improvement. You always want to shoot for the stars, right? The end goal is a national championship, but I've got to draw the line at some point and make a prediction. So I'm saying no, we will not win the national championship this year. Again, disclaimer, I could change my mind throughout the season as things start to develop, but I'm thinking more so 9-2 or 8-3 with a potential ACC championship game appearance against Clemson. Now, if we do end up facing Clemson in a rematch, we could very well win that game. Again, I think it comes down to coaching and just depth and injuries with both of the teams. This is going to be an interesting season all around. Let's just be honest here. With the Big Ten and the Pac-12 being out, potentially other teams, we don't even know if kids end up getting sick and they have to quarantine. We don't know who's going to be available week to week when it comes to players and coaches. So this 2020 season is kind of a weird one. Let's all just be honest here. So cut people some slack, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Trash talk is all good and fun. Please do. Please come back to this. If I'm wrong on some of these, trash talk is all good fun. But I'm just saying for other YouTubers and stuff, cut them some slack if people aren't 100% accurate on some things, because it's a continuously evolving situation and things potentially could get crazy this season. But that's it for the 2020 season prediction video. I'm so pumped, depending on when you're watching this. At the time of recording it, the kickoff of the UAB game is about 2 weeks away, and I couldn't be more excited. We finally got the back wall all finished up. I've got a couple of surprises in store, some things I can see over there. What's up, Manny? I can see back over there that you guys can't see, and some other things, some surprises for the 2020 season. We're going to do a big here on the Coach Coop YouTube channel. Lots of live streams. Of course, the live hangouts during the games and just videos. We're going to go crazy. And I'm also planning on doing a live stream this Friday talking about the 2020 season prediction. So you guys can call in and give your prediction as well, and we can talk it out. So I'm looking on my phone. That's going to be the 28th, August 28th on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be here. You can call in, and we can talk about the 2020 season prediction and what you think. Give your opinion. Give your feedback, and maybe we can critique mine as well. Do a little bit of that. I'm cool with that. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.